gonna continue on with it real quick. I said we was gonna deal with the bank fraud, bribery, and corruption. Right? Kulum, Raobat, Shalom, Salaam Alaikum, Namaste, Kamusta. Welcome. Let's continue on, because, some people don't know about this shit. Some people don't like to read, and if you don't like to read, well, I'll read a little bit. And the AI can read a little bit. So we can learn about this United States corporation. I'm going to let the AI, David, talk about bank fraud, bribery, and corruption. And let me pull up Amschel Rothschild. So you can get an image of this guy. Everything moving slow. Amschel. Amschel Rothschild. Bloop. Remember that? Kate Emma Rothschild and J Electronica. But Amschel Mayer, Amschel Bauer, we'll open the link in another tab so you can see who we're talking about here. Who we talking about? Amschel. Yeah, everything's loading slow. Probably need to close and reboot this jump. Just put some new Act Moot tracks up here. Amschel, I was gonna say Amschel information don't want to come up. Amschel Mayer, James Rothschild, 18 April 1955 through 8 July 1996. Executive Chairman of Rothschild Asset Management. That's the RAM right there, RAM, of the Rothschild banking family of England. Early years and kinships. Just put a G in there, kingships. Because king and kin share a common root. Early years and kinships. Rothschild was born in Paris, the youngest child of Victor Rothschild, third Baron Rothschild, and his second wife, Teresa Georgina Rothschild, née Mayer. On his father's side, he descended from the Rothschild family. His half-brother was Jacob Rothschild, fourth Baron Rothschild, fourth Baron. He was a British investment banker and a member of the prominent Rothschild banking family. He is also honorary president of the Institute for Jewish Policy Research. His maternal grandfather, Robert John Grote Mayer, was the brother of English novelist F.M. Mayer. and a great nephew of philosopher and clergyman John Grote. All right. This is Amschel, just so you can see. Because chief among the international financiers was Amschel Bauer of Germany. See, that's a different name. Amschel Bauer. Let's go to Bauer. Amschel Bauer, mayor. Mayor Amschel Rothschild, written also Amschel, was a German Jewish banker and the founder of the Rothschild banking dynasty, referred to as a founding father of international finance. Rothschild was ranked 7th on the Forbes list of the 20 most influential businessmen of all time. Born in free city of Frankfurt, Germany. They're Germans. Alright. Let's plug in Mayor Amschel. Not to be confused with Amschel Rothschild. Mayor Amschel Rothschild. Mayor Amschel Rothschild, also written also Amschel. 1812, was a German Jewish banker and the founder of the Rothschild banking dynasty. Referred to as a founding father of international finance. Rothschild was ranked 7th on the Forbes magazine list of the 20 most influential businessmen of all time in 2005. Draw pictures of them, huh? Rothschild was born in 1744 in the Judengasse, the Jewish ghetto of Frankfurt am Main, Holy Roman Empire. One of 8 children of Amschel Moses Rothschild. So he was born in the Holy Roman Empire, also known as the Holy Roman Empire of the German nation. It was a multi-ethnic complex of territories in Western and Central Europe that developed during the early Middle Ages and continued until its dissolution in 1806 during the Napoleonic Wars. Check the symbol though, the 2-headed bird. One of 8 children of Amschel Moses Rothschild. Took Moses, right? And his wife, Shawnshee Rothschild, née Lechnick. Alright. Derived from the German Zumrothenchild, with the old spelling the, meaning with the red shield, in reference to the house where the family lived for many generations. How to grab these names up. Isaac Elkanan Rothschild. See Isaac, Isaac Elkanan Baccarat Zumhan. Right? Keep taking the biblical names, whose name is derived from the German Zum Rothenscheid, with the red shield. That's where they took the name from. A reference to the house where the family lived for many generations. At the time, houses were designated by signs with different symbols or colors, not numbers. Right? The name Rothschild is Yiddish language, or in Yiddish language means red coat, as in heraldic coats of arms. The red coats are coming, the red coats are coming. Right? Those was the Rothschilds. And that was how that was hidden in that Schoolhouse Rock jump. Right? The Redcoats was another name that they were saying was the name given to the British. Right? Because everybody be talking about the Rothschilds and Illuminati families and shit. Let's look at them then. Who are these people that they're talking about? And how has what they set up affected us down to right now? So, coat of arms is a heraldic visual design on an escutcheon, surcoat, or tabard. The coat of arms on an escutcheon forms the central element of the full heraldic achievement, which in its whole consists of shield, supporters, crest, and motto. A coat of arms is traditionally unique to an individual. So, coat of arms, that tells your story. His grandchildren and descendants took his name as the family name and kept it when they relocated in 1664 to another house in the Judengasse Hinterpfand house in the back of the saucepan, which became the family's home and business location through the early 19th century. See how the naming goes? But those is all side notes that we'll touch on. You know, people can add on. You know what I mean? Add on. Alright. So, bank fraud, bribery, and corruption. Chief among the international financiers was Amschel Bauer of Germany, who in 1748 opened a goldsmith shop under the name of Red Shield. In German, the name is spelled Rothschild and is pronounced Rothschild. In 1787, Amschel Bauer Rothschild made the famous statement, "Let me issue and control a nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws." He had 5 sons, Amschel Meyer, Solomon, Jacob, Nathan, and Carl. In 1798, the 5 Rothschild brothers expanded by opening banks in Germany, Vienna, Paris, London, and Naples. Opening banks. What is a bank? Because, you know, you can have a bank on the river bank. But what is a bank? Look that up. The objective behind these bankers was to establish a clearinghouse, warehouse, bank, which was to receive special privilege and immunity to use the unjust fractional reserve banking in order to print money and loan it to the agency, government, and corporate industry charter via the corporate agency government. No beneficial interest could accrue from any beneficial use from any circulation of any note generated via the charter. This was established by the agency, United States, for the purpose of servicing the debt of the corporate United States and for the purpose of transferring the liability of the accrued debt, which had never been extinguished since the 1770s or 1770s, forward without interest being paid to the bankers or fiscal agents of the Crown. Through these schemes, the corporate agency government contrived to pass the liability through adhesion. They tried to stick it to them up like contracts to other walks of life, under various new deals to discharge thereon debts to the Crown or their own debts to the Crown. Through these schemes, the corporate agency government contrived to pass the liability through adhesion contracts to other walks of life under various new deals to discharge their own debts to the Crown. One of the very simple schemes foisted upon the people at large was fractional reserve banking. It is simply a special privilege given to a man or a group of men to create credit out of thin air. To create credit out of thin air. You know, credit is faith. The schemes are executed by extending this credit debt to any and everyone else in or found about a loosely associated people closely associated with a particular society or social compact. By and through such misrepresentations perpetrated upon such walks of life, which do not have the same access to the same privileges or immunities that the creator of the social compact or their posterity have, and thereby are burdened with paying the collecting fees from servicing the alleged debt of the social compact, the assumed value of money, and the attached plus interest for the cost of the use of units created to discharge in tender of debt thereof. Due to the beneficial interest created by the use of such instruments created by fractional reserve banking, the Crown and money kings become very rich, and the agency government is allowed to continue to legally discharge its debt and service their liability without having to produce anything of value other than to attorn such property by and through such attorneys of the Crown. From the unaware populace not familiar with the principles of discharge, contractually speaking, which is only a viable option to those which exercise credibility to expatriate from such assumed nexus with such social compact and its liability and repatriate, according to the principles of international public order, into such society to which they become a creative signatory member thereof to such social compact, thereby creating a nexus for their safety, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, by creating a hereditary birthright and standing to which their posterity may acquire by birth as well. right? Let David take over.
Attorneys of the Crown, from the unaware populace not familiar with the principles of discharge, contractually speaking, which is only a viable option to those which exercise credibility to expatriate from such assumed nexus with such social compact and its liability and repatriate according to the principles of international public order into such society to which they become a creative signatory member thereof to such social compact, thereby creating a nexus for their safety, liberty, and pursuit of happiness by creating a hereditary birthright and standing to which their posterity may acquire by birth as well. The basic mathematics behind the fractional banking system is very clear. If this system is left in place long enough, the man or group who controls the system of debt creation will own all the gold available in the social compact, however known as a nation/state, kingdom, or otherwise. Once the supply of real portable specie money, gold/silver or whatever the medium of exchange, whether money of account or money of exchange, species, is in his or their hands, this man or group of men becomes the master of the entire economic field of endeavor of such social compact. Why? Because this man or group of men controls the only source of operating medium, money, however defined, available through which the social compact functions to discharge debt. Only the man who has the privilege of printing and/or minting the money and loaning or extending such as interest can determine who gets special, drawing rights, funding his friends and allies. Everyone else is limited to how much money, of account or exchange, they have access to. Therefore, after 2 or 3 generations, the friends and allies of this banker will own all of the energy of such social compact. This present condition is being played out in the so-called American society and is now owned by a small coterie of very wealthy men throughout the planet. This same scheme of fractional reserve manipulation is being played out, throughout Redemption Manual, 4.5 edition 122. All of the various political social constructs globally with one aim, world domination of each and every resource to which the planet Earth can produce for their selfish benefit, including the absolute control of each and every living soul upon the planet to be forced economically into serving solely the private interests and gain of the money kings. How long the fractional banking process takes to work its way through the wealth of any social compact depends upon how successful the banker is in forcing, through bribery and corruption, the restriction of the formal agency government's issuance of real money backed by gold or silver or such other medium of account or exchange. Species currency is put into circulation to honestly and truly lie, why debt or discharge whatever liability is acquired which may or may not arise when one increases one's estate through the benefit of their efforts and labor as most people evidently wish to. Was this not the American dream? Furthermore, as the supply of real money shrinks, the people of any social compact are forced to rely on the creation of a fictitious debt by the privileged few to a greater and greater extent, until finally, the only thing left is a massive amount of unpayable debt, with no way to lawfully discharge their acquired debt, which was created from nothing and consists only of the interest charged upon the fictitious debt, while collecting interest for every moment of its existence. All this for the benefit of the privileged, who become the de facto, illegally usurped, agency government because of the money power they allow to be wielded by and through the social money power they allow to be privileged, who become the de facto, illegally usurped, agency government because of the money power they allow to be wielded by and through the social compact. Few are ever aware of the true damages done to their estates or that of such estate to which may or may not be possible to pass by hereditary right so to speak, and the debt which if not lawfully discharged back to the original source or creator of the debt, passes on to future generations of their posterity, creating a continuous debtor class people, subjects now of the money kings, to the whims of a foreign despotic tyrannical power.